I can't believe it's already here, but welcome to the last month of the year-long ride. After visiting Jen in DC, I headed out for month 12 into Pennsylvania for Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Water. I also got to camp in a yurt at one of the local state parks. Then it was off to the famous Deals Gap Road. This I got to ride with my Uncle Donnie. He came out and we rode 4 different states together. It was a lot of fun riding with family again, and we even made it on to Detroit before the path was about to go in another new direction. It was time for me to head further north for Canada and Alaska. I was pushing season and really needed to eat up some miles, so I chose to put an iron butt under my belt on this grand journey. It rained for most of my time in Canada. I was still able to see quite a lot of sights, but many of the mountains were covered in clouds. My first day into Canada, I got all wet because I couldn't get my rain suit on fast enough when the storm hit. Later, I would end up staying at a hotel because during a rainstorm, I really had to use the bathroom and I couldn't get my rain suit off fast enough, so I definitely needed the laundry. My nights camping were pretty cold, and I even was joined by new friends. But I was lucky in that most of my days were filled with rain but not snow, and 2 weeks before I entered into Canada, parts of the road I would ride had just had a rain, snow, and hailstorm.
So here I am on the side of the Alaskan Highway, and I'm just 5 miles from hanging my sign in the signpost forest in Watson Lake. I'm headed west towards Alaska. I'm in Upper Laird, and I just hit my 50,000 mile mark. So pretty stoked about that. Been on the road almost a year now, about 2 weeks out, and I just hit 50,000 miles on the odometer. Sitting here on the Alaskan Highway. Here it is. There's my road. And this nice man let me borrow his ladder because all of the low sites I can't get to, and you can't bring the bike down here. This is a sign that my dad made me back in Arizona. There she is.
Turned 34 on the road, and all the way from Arizona, Mom and Dad bought me a nice birthday dinner in Canada. Entering into Alaska was a major milestone, and at my first gas station stop, I met the Winns. I had seen them years ago on HGTV. It's a couple traveling around in an RV for years, except now they live in a boat, and they're doing the catamaran life. Mom always told me to look both ways before crossing the street. I guess this little guy's mom did too. Have a red nose, but she sure would be a great lead for Santa's sleigh. And what's a trip to Alaska without visiting the North Pole? In prepping for my ride to the Arctic Circle along the Dalton Highway, I needed extra cans of gasoline, and of course a stop at the Alaskan Pipeline, and then I was off and ready to ride one of the hardest roads of my journey.
Finished the Dalton Highway Road up to the Arctic Circle and have to clean the bike, so I had to find a spray station in town because Amelia needs some love. She got a little bit dirty. Lost a little bit of my windshield here from a semi-truck throwing up a rock.
so better the windshield than my knee, but definitely shattered up the shield pretty good. The next morning, I was in store for another wonderful day for riding. And actually, when I left, if you look really close, you can see Denali out there. And I was glad I got to see it from a distance, because when I arrived at Denali National Park, it was clouded over and I couldn't actually see the famous mountain. But I did get a picture of my bear in Alaska. The beauty about camping is, can you really think of a better place to be having your morning coffee? It's amazing how quick the weather can change from one day to the next, especially when you go from Alaska to Hawaii. There might just be a little bit of difference in those two. It had been years since I'd been back to Hawaii to visit my cousin Kama. We enjoyed hanging out together and made new memories that will last a lifetime. So I think it is time to go into the water and hit the Hawaiian beaches. I've got a private beach for $15 a night. This is crazy. Check. Right there. My time camping in Hawaii was very short, but you couldn't have asked for a better location. I was beachside on a private beach for just $15 a night, and when I went out to swim that evening as the sun was setting, I swam with sea turtles. It was magical in so many ways. I flew out of the beaches and bathing suit weather of Hawaii back to the glacier and grandness of Alaska. In making the decision of what route to head home on, I decided on the local ferry. I would leave from Whittier, Alaska, and land back in Seattle on my 1-year anniversary. Amelia got tagged hazardous before we loaded the boat, and it was my first time taking a motorcycle by ferry, and when the guy came around to check my straps, he gave me 2 thumbs up. On this type of ferry, there is a sleeping floor. You can pitch your tent or just stack chairs as I did and have a great window seat. Although it's not a cruise ship, you still get to stop at ports. I was able to have smoked salmon chowder and even experience Ketchikan's funny little signs. Alaska was amazing in many ways, but it was time to start the trek home. I landed in Washington State on my 1-year anniversary and was able to go see both of my older brothers. Today is my 1-year anniversary and I'm here at Triumph Tacoma. The cool thing about this shop and why I wanted to come back on this year anniversary is when I first started my trip, before I had support from Triumph North America, these guys stepped up and gave me a free oil change and gave me a free tire as I was first starting this big adventure way before I was 52,000 miles into it. So it was really fun to come back to the family that kind of started it all with my Triumph family here in Tacoma, Washington.
So,
And here you go.
Oh,
The scarf you've been wanting for the whole year, right?
thank you. I have been looking at this scarf. That's perfect. Since I visited Triumph North America in Atlanta, and I told myself, no, you've got a scarf that works, it's all right. I've been in love with this for a year, so this is pretty awesome. Not
how
bad
did
for
you
a
do it?
year on the
Let's
road.
get it.
September 19th, 2015, 75,000 miles, 79 on my odometer. So it's been a great adventure, hitting a year on the road, just landed back on the mainland in Washington State, finishing all 50 states in Canada in 1 year. Now I'm headed home. Homeward bound, all 50 states. We'd made it, all 50 states and Canada in 1 year. But there still was about a week of adventuring left for Amelia and I. We had sights to see on our way back to Arizona, and roads to ride, or salt flats.
a ride. Thanks for joining me for 12 months of adventuring. And this time, it will truly be the end of a wonderful one woman, one bike, 1 year journey that has changed my life for the better in so many ways. And just in case, if you're not ready for it to end, continue to follow the adventure for the next journey, Expedition Electric.